Aaron, you want to talk us through your changes? Quite a few changes there.
Yeah, exciting team, isn't it? Yeah, team that we'd had planned for at the start of the year. And, as I said last week, we wanted to give the majority of the squad a run these first 3 weeks. Also having to manage All Black loads as well, and yeah, opportunity for guys to be preparing for this moment and get the chance to perform.
So Josh Mackay gets an opportunity on the left wing. Excited about that? What will he bring to that position? What's he been doing at training?
Lots of gas, yeah, extreme amount of gas actually. So we're excited about that, seeing him out there. Oh look, he's a guy that's really grown in our environment over the last year and a half, and we've got some good competition out wide. So I wanted to give him that opportunity to see what he's got, and I'm sure he'll perform well on Friday night, and he'll start pushing others for more regular starts.
He was telling us the other day he's the fastest in the Highlanders camp, over 10 metres. Not very far, but it's still obviously got some explosive pace there. But he's been working on his physicality. Is that an area where he's trying to improve?
Yeah, I think just to withstand the rigours of this competition, especially out in the wider channels. You see the athletes out in the wider channels now have become bigger over the years, and he's not the biggest man, doesn't have the biggest stature, but he's got a big heart, and he's put a few more kilos on his frame, which is great. So that just helps him transfer his speed and strength into powerful, dynamic carries, and he's become a bit more confident in his defensive collisions as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him go.
Have you guys got him paired him up quite closely, quite tightly with Ben Smith there, passing on them?
They're all tight here, mate. We're all tight.
You got Brent Gatlin starting at 10 for the first time this year. Is that sort of a chance for him to show you what he can do?
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, been really happy with all our three fly halves. Josh has done a great job in the first 2 games. He'll still be on the field, and Marty's been outstanding with both of those young guys. He's given us exactly what we wanted from Marty. He's come in and helped those guys with his experience, and they've both really flourished. So, in terms of having 3 of them there this week, it gives us some good options. You
got Josh Ioane at fullback as well. Is that sort of like a dual playmaking role that you're looking for him this match, or what's
yeah, Josh will give us that. The way that we play the game, everyone's often required to step on in a first receiver position, so have that extra strength this weekend with having Josh at fullback.
Sweet.
Was there a temptation just to leave Josh where he is, because he started so well and he's beginning to look really comfortable? I think he played against the Rebels at fullback last year, so he's not unfamiliar with that. But was there a conversation around that?
Not really. We were really happy for Bryn to start this game, as was the plan. Look, we've got trust in all of our guys, so I know that this team is they're prepared really well in our first few days of the week. We've got a really smart travel plan in place, and our medical staff and conditioners, strength and conditioning team have been good there. So look, we're ready to go and attack this game and trust the guys are going to do the job.
Big role for the leaders this week with Luke and Ben absent, and Jimmy Lynchies and Ash Dixon have got big roles to play.
Yeah, we've got Jimmy, Ash, obviously Tom Franklin off the bench, Marty Banks, Tauranga Walden is also part of our leadership group as well. So Waisaki and Holos had to step up in that back 3 division, being a more experienced member, but he's been really excited by that challenge, and it was actually great to hear him on the training field this week holding his teammates accountable for things we want to grow through the week. So as expected in this team, everybody leads and everybody contributes.
With on the left wing with Josh's inclusion, was that a few little defensive misses by Tavita that counted against them this week?
Well, we're always going to rest Tavita for this game and then bring Josh in. So yeah.
Do we have any injury update on Rob Thompson? We heard he had a scan earlier in the week. Just wondering how that is.
Yeah, I think there's an issue going on. I'm not sure what the correct medical diagnosis is, but Rob's unlikely to play for the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, well that's a bit of a blow for you.
Yeah, it is a bit of a blow, but it's an opportunity for other guys to step in, and Robbie's been fantastic helping us get to where we are at this stage, but it's an opportunity for the likes of Seal and Thomas and Tay and Richard Buckman's back in the mix next week as well, so it's going to take a 38-man job to get the job done this year, and confident in all those boys.
And Liam Squire, we heard that was just a day-by-day sort of scenario with his hip there. Is there progress there?
No, same as the last message.
You've got 3 debutants coming off the bench.
What are you saying, debutants, eh?
Debutants. Expecting much from them when they come on?
Expecting a lot from them, yeah. Really exciting opportunity for all of them. Josh for Scott has been outstanding since he come down last year. He's worked really hard for this opportunity, and he's another guy we see having a big future with the Highlanders and potentially further up. Falaufa Katava is a very exciting young nine, and I think he will surprise a few with where he's at with his game for such a young man. He's got a lot of spark. I'm really looking forward to injecting him into the game later on. So it's an exciting opportunity for these guys.
What do you see from the Rebels? I mean, I haven't seen their team yet, but potentially they can go Wallaby all the way through the back line, except maybe for 12. Billy Meeks, who's toured with them anyway. So they're a proper side this year, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they were a proper side last year as well, and I think you could see what David Vessels is trying to do with them. Not too dissimilar to the Reds in terms of probably building a bit more substance through their side, and they play for each other, so he's done a good job. A lot of respect for the way that he's built that team into where they're at the moment, and obviously with the Guinea and Cooper combination there, adding a bit more spark and some flavour to their attack, makes them a very dangerous team. So we expect a real physical encounter. They're a big team as well, similar to the Rebels, similar to the Reds. And in some areas we weren't good enough last week, matching that physical battle. So it's something we're focused on this week, and want to make sure we don't get smacked on the nose against the Rebels. So our boys will be ready for minute one, and looking forward to it.
They've got a very flat attack at times as well, don't they? So I mean, that's a danger, but also some opportunities there as well defensively.
Yeah, well, Quaid's one of those guys. If you give him too much time and space, he can really hurt teams. So there's been a bit of focus on making sure we don't give him any time or room to move, and if there is a little bit of time, making sure that we're working together in our threes and our fives defensively. So if we do that, then we can hopefully put those guys under a bit of pressure and get some good ball back to strike with.
Ricky Jackson's the other guy who's going to be making a debut off the bench if he gets an opportunity there. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what Ricky will bring to the side.
Oh, we're absolutely pumped for Ricky. We wanted to rest Liam Cotman this week. Liam had baby number 2 not too long ago, so he's been on night duties helping out Mum, as a good husband should do, and he's played some high minutes, so we wanted to give Colty a bit of a breather this week, get him firing for we've got 3 big derbies before our bye, so that's the reason for that rest there. And Ray Nuia is another guy who's still out with a slight injury to his neck, so Ricky's a replacement player for us, but he's been with us the whole way through, doing a great job. One of those guys who's very diligent around his study and learning the game. He's drawing everything he can out of those older guys. Colty especially has been great with him in the last couple of weeks, knowing that Ricky was going to come to Melbourne, let him know a couple of weeks ago. So he's been preparing for this opportunity. Very, very abrasive. Still a young man, still learning his game, but yeah, he's going to have a big future in Highlanders jersey as well.
You guys saw that there's a few communication problems with the line out there in the last match. Have you guys sorted that out? You're confident things are back on track in the line out?
Yeah, well, that's more Hammer's area, but Hammer and the line out leaders had a good meeting and reviewed their calling process on Monday, and yeah, they're pretty confident they've got it sorted, so shouldn't be too many issues there.
And Elliot at 8, obviously you lose Luke, but you bring in a lot of experience as well, somebody who knows what it means to be a Highlander too, so you must be pretty confident he's going to go well.
Yeah, and the good thing about bringing Elliot in, he's fizzing, so he's had him forced 2 weeks off. All our Japanese-based players wanted to play straight away, but actually it was a conversation with Joe. Joe's done that before, gone back-to-back seasons, found that quite hard, so he was pretty influential there and telling those guys what it's like, and they managed to agree to the plan and commit to it, and you see the energy those guys have brought back in. Tom Franklin's another one, so both Tom and Elliot are chomping at the bit. They have been for the last 2 or 3 weeks to get amongst it. But what we've got now is guys that have recovered from their last season, and they're really excited. They know they're in the battle for their positions, so I'm sure we'll get the best out of both those boys on the back of the plan we've had in place for them.
It's going to be something that all New Zealand teams are probably going to have to deal with, isn't it? That Japan-New Zealand season, because Elliot was saying that the Japan deal actually kept him in New Zealand, so it's something that New Zealand teams are just going to have to get good at, isn't it?
Well, especially if you want to keep those players, and ideally we'll be able to keep all of those guys for as long as we could, but you know, the challenge of the overseas market and how that's working at the moment, and the amount of money that's being thrown at these guys, opportunity to set their families up, it's understandable when people leave, so you know, you can't fault them for the decision they make. We're just fortunate that our boys wanted to come back, so it speaks a lot for our environment and what we're trying to create here, which is something pretty special.